Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My webinar about smart money habits. Thank you for joining. So today, we're going to look at smart habits, but along with behavioral change and the structural framework of today's world in which we exist and navigate. So, again, I'll introduce myself very quickly. I'm Dr. Rifat Faizan. I'm a founder of Beyond the Blueprint, more working with immigrant women to empower them. I'm an published author for two books. One is for networking career strategies. I also have over 26 published Scoopers Journals articles, and I am a mentor with Scotiabank, but I also am a professor and a realtor by profession. So I want you to walk with me today, understanding what is the structural framework that you are. And I will start with a very uncomfortable fact that we have around here, which is that we as a woman and as an individual have been told how to save money. So we all know, okay, you're going to earn a certain amount, you're going to put certain amount away, but we are not really taught how we can build that into something that we call is wealth. Not everyone walks in or comes with generational wealth. So, how do we really teach ourselves and the young generation that coming, being your son or a daughter or your sister, your brother, how do you teach them to grow wealth over time? So, we really need to understand. And having this understanding of how to grow wealth leads us into building our financial freedom. So, there are some hidden traps that I want you to focus on. The first one is the retirement gap. And we're not really told about it. So I want you to start with looking at how these retirement gaps take place. So, according to the research that was done by National Institute of Retirement and Security, approximately 30% of women retire less than how their counterpart men will retire with. And we have to really think about it, how this financial freedom comes, because there is this. Think of it this way. You are running a marathon along with everyone else, but you have this invisible 30 pounds of backpack on your back and you don't see it. And that's what really is happening in the structural framework in the workforce that we are. Why is it happening? Not because we are bad with money, but why it's happening is because these are some of the silent wealth killers that we don't see. So, for example, let's say there are two individuals, Sarah and Mark. They both have the same degree. She gets a job. She in marketing. She's earning 55,000, and she gets a promotion at the age of 28. She moves on to 70,000 now. For 55, she's gone to the 70,000 earning. She has her first child in the first year of her marriage, so she takes a 12 months maternity leave, and when she returns, she goes back to part-time. That's like a 3 days a week. So she wants to be, and she thinks that she needs to be there for her daughter. So her salary drops, and it drops to 42,000. So from 55 to 70, now she's back to 42, which is even lower than what she was earning at the start point. When her daughter is 5, she has, she's starting to thinking of going back to work, but then she has to take care of her elderly mother who's diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So now the promotions, the aspects that she had, she's missing out on it. So at age of 45, Sarah is making 75,000. But her colleague, Mark, who started at the same time with her the same day, did not take a career break and moved on and is making 120,000. Well, here the math, I want you to look at the math. Sarah contributed to her retirement saving for only 18 of her 23 years of work, only 18 years. But Mark contributed for the entire 23 years. So Sarah's saving is going to be 63,000, where Mark's on average is saving 92,000. And that's where the gap really starts. So Sarah has only 28,000. Mark has saved about, Sarah over the years, if she's investing in retirement and everything, she will have about 280,000, where Mark would have about 510,000. So the starting point where you're starting and how you're going is going to have an impact. So different outcomes will come, not because you're irresponsible, but the system is not designed solely for you. So we have to look at this comparison. What is really happening? Maternity leave, caregiving for children, or caring for your aging parents, or part-time work that you take, or you're starting after divorce. These are not failures, they're not failures, they're personal circumstances, but these are the structural reality. So as I was said earlier, there was another study that was done in 2022 very recently by Canadian Center of Policy Alternatives, and they found that women's earning drop by an average of 40% in the year after they having a child, and then they fully never recover. So even 10 years later, women will earn less. That is 15% less than they would have if they hadn't had children. Now, but that does not mean you should not have a family or not children. What it really means is you have to start working on it and planning for it smartly. So the very first thing that I want to discuss with you today is called ostrich effect. All of us have seen ostriches. So what is ostrich effect? Women respond to this financial pressure by avoiding finances altogether. And this concept is called ostrich effect. The definition of ostrich effect is that it's a cognitive bias where people avoid looking at their financial information when they fear bad news. They named it after the myth ostriches usually bury their heads in the sand when they're scared. So it is a similar thing that we do. We stop checking our bank accounts. We ignore credit card bills. We avoid investment into accounts that feels intimidating. We are scared of market downturns, so we panic. We stop opening bills. We putting retirement planning aside because we feel overwhelming that that's a lot of thinking for the future. So there was a study published in Economic Behavior, and it found that during market downturn, investors check their portfolio 35% less often than they literally. Why? Because they cannot take the damages. They are really worried about it. So the question is, you know your grocery bills, you know how much is your mortgage payment, you know the dates on the calendar, but do you really know what is your net worth? Okay. A lot of the time people say, we don't know what is our net worth. And that is what an ostrich effect is, because you are too scared. So how do I overcome it? There's one a simple thing that you could do. For as a beginner, my recommendation would be set up the money date. Every 2 weeks, every month, if you get your confidence built up down the road in a couple of months, then every week you should sit for 10 minutes with your bank account statement. That could be on your app. You don't have to have physical printouts. Go on your app and look at it. So every Sunday, if you think Saturday and Sunday is a relaxation day, maybe Friday before winding up your week, look at all your accounts. So start looking at all your accounts, review where your money went, review what your goals are, and then any small win that you have. Let's say I didn't drink coffee today, or I didn't go out today, or maybe let's scratch out coffee because I don't want you to cut down on your coffee or avocado toast. But what I really want you to I put $5 aside. Then celebrate that. Doesn't matter it's $1, doesn't matter it's $5 or it's $500. You are going to sit without judging yourself. When you look at your money regularly, you stop feeling afraid of it. And then you can track your progress. And I will tell you one thing from personal. I, at one point, was very afraid of looking at bank statements, credit card statement, because I knew I had a habit of running it. So when you sit with it, you evaluate it, you look at it one, twice, three times, it starts to become a norm. You have done it, and your mind is telling, it has the evidence, so it's telling, okay, I've done it before, it's not that hard. Looking at it, what it's there, and then strategizing it takes that power away from the fear and give it in your hand, and then you can start looking at it. So in first week, you see where your spendings are, where your credit card bills are. If it gets very overwhelming, you just keep it open and look at it, okay? Eventually, you'll start understanding where your money is flowing and what is really, there is a leakage and how we can stop. And this brings me to understanding that you don't have a knowledge gap, how I earlier said. It's like confidence. So you know what? Start sitting with your money. The 1/3 of financial literacy gap between men and women is explained by the confidence. It's not actual knowledge, okay? It's more of the confidence. How confident are you to sit? And Canadian research from the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada found that 47% of women feel confident about investing compared to 66%. So we're still not even half of the women are feeling confident to go into the investment. And the irony here is that women are actually better investors than, than men. And why is that? Because when they were doing the study, it was done by Fidelity Investment. They analyzed about 5.2 million of their consumers' accounts, and it was done over the span of a decade. And they found out that women earned 0.4% higher annual return than men. And why that happens? Because they trade less. They don't panic. They panic less. So during the market downturns, if there is no panic, you're bound to get return on your investment. They stayed invested for longer. So the longer you stay invested in your investment, the better and the greater the results are for you to get the returns. And they actually were thinking more long term. So there was not like short term gains and getting quick fixes and out. And they were less overconfident. So they were not really trading because they were like, you know what, we're going to play. And what this tell us is that you could start at the same time, but the longer you stay invested and the smarter you are considered in your investment. So for here, one lesson that we want to take, if you have your notebook, please write it down, that you don't have to be 100% ready. You can start doing it as soon as you think I want to. Like take an action. There are different apps that you could use. You can do analysis through your mobile apps, like all the banks, BMO, Scotia, RBC. Every one of them have the funds, the portfolios. You can read about those at least. Give yourself like 5 minutes of that permission to read about it and see what kind of thing resonates with you. So when you take that action, then it takes away the confidence gap. It bridges it, right? So your action is now going into confidence. Another that is important is how many opportunities have you taken before you feel ready? That's what it really is. So the biggest wealth gap is not going to be your income gap, though we saw it. It would be the action gap. So even if you're earning less, you're not making a lot of money as compared to others. But if you consistently take action, it will compound. An investment compound effect works. So that is other thing that I want you. So one thing you're going to do today is sit with yourself and look at it. What if I lose money? No, we're not going to think of that. Ask, what is the cost of not investing? If I'm not investing, how can I do it to avoid that cost? And then you move on. So whatever your answer is, you are going to start looking at it, right? So understanding the compound growth will reward you. Wealth rewards speed. You don't need more money. You just need more time in the market, right? Uh, one of the wealth formula that I think is very important that we are not really taught is that most of the time people think that income is equals to wealth. Uh, that is very incorrect, okay? Why? Because income plus saving rate plus investing plus time and plus mindset, that's equals to wealth. So I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to read it out slowly so that you could write it in your notebook. Income plus saving rate plus investing plus time plus mindset is this going to be equals to wealth. Okay. What I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a doctor who's physician, Mr. Thompson, and he's making 250,000 a year. Lives in a $900,000 house. Drives BMW. Kids goes to private school. Takes 15,000 vacation. The expenses are going to be somewhere between 235,000 a year. Saving is about 15,000 a year. And if that is invested at 6% of her income, right? Now, let's say there is other doctor, Mr. Billy, high school teacher, makes 65,000 a year, lives in a 250,000 condo, drives a 10-year-old Toyota, kids are going to public school, takes 2,000 camping trip, expense comes to 45,000. And the saving is going to be 20,000 a year. So that's 31% of his income. Okay. What it really telling us here is that with the 7% of average annual return, let's say very conservatively 7%, some investments grow beyond that. Mr. Thompson saved 15,000 a year for 30 years, gets 1.4 million. Mr. Williams saves 20,000 a year for a span of 30 years, gets 1.9 million a year. What is it really teaching is that you don't have to have a higher income. What you really have to understand is what my habits are. Your income matters, but your habits, they matter the most. So there's this one thing that we talked about, ostrich effect, now is avoiding money. But the second thing is that comes here is telling you is hedonic treadmill. So what is hedonic treadmill? And it's a very important concept in behavioral economic. I should say very powerful. The hedonic treadmill is that human being, us as an individual, have a tendency. We have a tendency to quickly return to the alternative that we see as stable level of happiness, despite major positive or negative events in our life. Okay. So if I have to put it in plain English for you, it will be like this. You are happy. Then if you get a raise, you're happy. Then you adapt. You need more. So you buy bigger car, you buy expensive house, expensive brand or designer wears, nicer home, designer bag. These becomes your happiness, but that is going to fade over time. So then you need something else. So the cycle keeps repeating. And when we look at research, we say that the Journal of Actually Personality and Social Psychology found that lottery winners were not happier than the control participant. What it really means is that what you have to understand is that more income is meaningless if you keep inflating your lifestyle. The moment your income goes up is similarly is the time where your lifestyle goes up. So what you're really doing is instead of saving, you are taking that money, the extra income, and then you're spending it. So what you really should do is take that extra income, set a significant portion of it in an investment, and then go into spending. So before any purchase over 200, you should really ask two questions from yourself. And I'm saying 200, okay? You can set it up to however limit you want, but best is to 200, like an average major gap. Will this improve my life in 6 months? If it's improving your life in 6 months, by all means, go ahead and buy it. Okay, if it's not improving it, you need to stop buying it. And the second question you should ask before any purchase is, am I buying a feeling? Are you buying it because you're feeling happy, because you feel like it's my birthday, I need to, and I do that. I buy things on my birthday that I feel like, oh, I'm treating myself. But is it something I'm treating myself with that is worth? Now you define the worth, okay? Not the hollow or shallow happiness, but worth that really adds value to you as a person, okay? So the lifestyle inflation is when your income rises and your expenses rises equally or even faster, and then it leaves your net worth unchanged or decreased. And here I want you to also think of it that you need to understand that I can enjoy my money and build wealth at the same time. I don't need to cut out. I just need to be more intentional. Okay, so we have to look at in that aspect is something we call present biases when your brain is choosing today over tomorrow. So one thing that leads to financial failure is when we want instant gratification. And present biases is basically a tendency of human being to value immediate reward from more highly than the future rewards. I want to pleasure now. I want it now. And behavioral economist Richard Thaler and Shlomo Benartzi, they did a research and they found that when people were offered $100 today or $110 in 1 month, most of them chose $100 today. But when offered 100 in 1 year, 110 in 1 year and 1 month. They chose 110. So your brain is wired to want things now, even if it cost us later. And that's why we use credit cards and spend money. So other thing you could do is look at a 48-hour rule. Uh, when you hold yourself for 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, if you really buy something on Amazon or on other platforms and it's in your cart, give it for 24 hours to 48 hours and ask, do I really need it? If you still need it, if you still want it, go for it. But majority of the time when you do that, your mind tends to navigate and forget about it. So this is one way that you can keep yourself from overspending. One last thing I want to explain, another trap is loss aversion. We fear losing cost, then actually you are losing it. This is one of the most important concepts in behavioral finance. Loss aversion is the tendency of people to feel the pain of losing more intensely than the pleasure of gaining it. So what I really want you to focus is that so how it works is like this: losing $100 hurts about twice as much as finding $100. That makes you feel good. So suddenly, like if you find $100 on the ATM machine dropped by someone, the happiness of finding that 100 is very much less as compared to if you lose $100 somewhere. We call it loss aversion. And women, how they have this loss aversion that hurts women is that we start avoiding investing because we are afraid that we'll lose money. We keep money in low interest accounts or saving accounts where we can get just 0.5%, while inflation does keep rising between 3 to 4%. We don't start our own business because we think we will fail. We start panicking, so we sell. And that's what we really have to understand is that we're not really terrible, but we are framed to avoid pain. So instead of what if I fail, I want you to look at it. What will it cost me if I never take that jump and take that risk, and then look at it, right? Staying small. I always emphasize on it in all my webinars and lectures. Don't stay small. Okay, you have to learn how to stay strong, and that comes by just taking an action. Confidence comes after, not before. So just take an action. Okay, and there is something I want you to set today. Something I would call it the financial thermostat. What financial thermostat is, it's a very powerful concept, and it will really help you to understand the hidden income ceiling. Okay, your financial thermostat is your hidden income ceiling. So it's like your subconscious income ceiling, and it's the limit you believe you can earn. So you unconsciously self-sabotage, and you, on average, starts to stay small. How you sabotage it, you can get a raise and immediately increase your spending. That's one of your financial thermostats. So you're using this unconscious pattern to sabotage it. You get a bonus and you go and spend it on things that you don't need. I've seen it. I've really seen it. My some of my realtor friends, when they get a deal, they buy a designer or a branded stuff. But I've seen someone who really is so smart that the moment he started earning, he was putting money aside. And today he actually have investments worth of a portfolio that has 12 income rental properties. What it really shows is the designer brand doesn't bring you the value, but investment on something that have a long-term return and consistent return. It's actually increase designing your portfolio. Let's look at it. Every model that goes have a portfolio that is impressive, that keeps her work coming to her, right? Supermodels have portfolios, and that's why you need to build your income portfolio, and you need to learn. In future, I'll definitely talk about how you can diversify those portfolios from personal experiences, from research that I've done, and I will give you some tips on how to work on it. But today, I want you to just take these little pointers that I'm sharing with you and start investing your way. So first thing first, please do know your number. Your habit number one is going to be knowing your numbers. Please write down all the numbers. Know what comes in, know what goes out, know what you owe, know who owes you. Do not let go of that. You give money and you're feeling ashamed or embarrassed to ask back. So it's very important, okay? And of course, you really need to know where your assets are, what your savings are, what your investments is, even your property. So you need to do those calculations. So for today, I'm going to leave you with that. So habit number one is going to be listing what comes in, what goes out, what you owe, what you are owned. And I really need you to know what your net worth is. Okay. Net worth means what your is going to be something, your assets minus your liabilities. So sit down and write everything down. Okay. Then I want you to go into habit number two. Your habit number two is going to be paying yourself first, which means when you get money as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as an entrepreneur, you start paying family, kids, bills, friends, and then you save the last. So you're going to reverse that. What you're going to do is you're going to reverse the process. So the healthy, wealthy reverse process works like this. You're going to put from entire pay 10, 15, or 20, your choice, how you want to start, but it has to gradually increase over time. So you start either with 10, 15, or 20, or 16, or 17, or 11%, your choice. You start taking the total income and you save that percentage on it first. Okay. And you're going to automate it. All the apps have that. You don't touch that. You block your withdrawals from that account and you start investing it. Okay. If you want to save at last what is left over, you will never have enough left over to invest. So start saving first, put that percentage aside, 10%, and then look what you have left in hand to start paying for the remainder. This shift is very important. When you automate it, you will see it that it will really grow over time. Okay. So this is one thing that I want you to focus on. Now, other thing that I really think that is very important for all of us is that we are going to stop thinking rescuer syndrome act, which means we are going to first rescue ourselves and then we are going to start working on other. I hope you find this beneficial and you can implement these few tips and techniques that I've given you. I will be coming up with another series where I will actually sit with you and work step by step with actual numbers so that we can sit together. I have a whole template that you can follow and you don't have to share it, your numbers. You can just do it as we are doing it practically and live in live session doing it. You will have your notebook and you'll do it. So that way we'll look at it and kind of figure out a way that we can save money and start building generational wealth. And then I'm really hoping that once you learn this, you will pass it on to your family, to your kids, to your friends who can really benefit from it. It's never too late to turn the tide around, right? So I'm going to leave you with this one real income for a real formula where you look at your income, you add your saving rate, you look at your investments, times, mindset, and it should build you a wealth. I wish you all the best. I hope you find this enlightening and informative. Do leave me a comments below or message me if you want a one-on-one consultation, and I would love to sit with you and help you. See you next time. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you on behalf of Beyond the Blueprint. Thank you.